Saints Row 2 on PC is a relic of a great game. However, there's one mod out there that aims to fix everything wrong with the port. It's called the Saints Row 2 Juiced Patch. They themselves call it a mega mod aimed to fix the game once and for all. But is it actually good? The short answer is, it's fucking awesome. So what does it do exactly? It improves and fixes tons of graphical elements. Overall, the game will look and feel a lot smoother. For example, there's better anti-aliasing, ambient occlusion, shadows, glass textures, and even fixed flickering or coloring. They've also brought the console gamma over. You can just compare these two scenes and see tons of differences. But I'm going to mention now that I'm using Vanilla FX Plus. It makes the game a lot more vibrant by removing this filter that the game has and sharpening it up a bit. It keeps the game's vibe entirely, and to be honest, I really like it. It's one of my favorite features, and so I'm going to be using it throughout the entire video. Now here's one final comparison between the three. Now there are a lot of technical fixes in this project that all come together to make the game a lot less janky visually and in gameplay. Things related to FPS stability, mouse inconsistencies, object desync, and more stuff that are just plain hard for me to record. So let's just move on to stuff I can show. There's now a lot more player control. For example, now you can reload while sprinting, switch weapons while firing to do cool shit like this, as well as cancel taunts and begin crouching while walking. Overall, this makes the gameplay more responsive and more aligned with Saints Row 1. There's a pretty dope photo mode like option. Like, really, I love this free cam a lot. You can activate it in pretty much any sequence and create some dope pictures. You can alter field of view.
Anybody know?
One of these days I'll move out of this dump.
You can pause in cutscenes.
As many of you know, the restoration
There's borderless windowed mode now. You can also skip the intro messages and load directly into your save. This is how quick the game loads. The cutscene audio has been heavily improved.
It's not me.
Right here. Pierce, I put you in charge of the Ronin. What more do you want?
I can do more to help.
Do you know how the Sons of Samdi are still moving product after we torched their farm and drug labs?
No?
Then shut the fuck up.
You can now quick save. It will even load you back in to wherever you were before. The camera has been fixed or improved in a few ways. The camera will overall feel less locked. For example, when drive-bying or handbraking. They've also replaced GameSpy with an open source alternative, known as OpenSpy, which makes multiplayer possible again.
It feels like you're enjoying yourself.
It is truly a flawless experience.
Free as a bird.
And now the best and most important feature, the game is actually playable. Overall, this is an overhaul to Saints Row 2. From the graphics to gameplay, it is the best way to experience the game, and it is just a straight up improvement. So let's go ahead and install it. Now there's two things I want to go over before we install the mod. If you don't like the gameplay adjustments or you're just not interested in them, there is a light version of the mod, which you can download right here. It basically only includes fixes. If you've ever tried to mod this game before, make sure you go to your games directory and delete everything. Then go ahead and uninstall it from wherever you have it installed from, and then go ahead and re-download it. This is to ensure there's no leftover mod files and you don't have any issues. But if you've never modded this game before, you shouldn't have to do this. So let's go ahead and install this. You basically want to select everything except the readme.txt file and drag it into your main directory. You want to go ahead and replace when you're asked to. And when that's done, you can just run the game. By this point, there's going to be a console that shows some spooky text, and this message is basically patching the exe. The LAA part, that just basically means that now the game will actually use more than 2 GB of RAM, and thus you should experience less crashing. So if you go to the options and juiced options, and here you can configure everything to your liking. Now I have my own options that I like to use, which is basically I just like to have the most control possible. And in my opinion, Saints Row 1 has better gameplay than Saints Row 2 in a lot of areas, so I like to enable these options. I pretty much just enable anything that says better or Saints Row 1 on it. Now, after you do install it, the game itself has various options you could toggle from. However, it doesn't have all of them currently. So as the readme says, you may want to look at the juiced.ini to disable or enable any options you want. There's also other fixed mods out there, of which you can view on the PC Gaming Wiki. However, I'm not going to showcase them here, but perhaps I'll make a part 2 to this video in the near future. But that's about it. So anyway, bye.